Hi, I'm Tony. I'm the guy that's giving you the talk on Saturday morning. So I hope you can come. I'll be here. I should be windsurfing, but while you can hear the waves crashing in, it's not actually windy. And also the internet's not great, so I thought I'd better send you just send you a message along with what is a video I made some time ago. It's changed slightly, but basically what I'm trying to do is to promote prevention, and we can all do that. And you can actually use the app yourself. You can customize it, and if you come to the meeting, you can tell me what you would like. The idea, of course, is that we've all got to help with prevention, and we all have a role to play. And there are certain things that we can help one another with, and if you don't tell me what they are, I can't help you. As it says at the start, I'm retired. Well, I ought to have a little bit of fun, but I'm still a bit annoyed that we haven't really done more promoting prevention. I hope you can help, and I hope to see you then. Bye. My name's Tony, and I'm one of the lucky dentists because, well, I've just retired. And like a lot of dentists my age, I'm slightly disillusioned. I would have liked to have carried on working longer, but I think I have more value in doing something different. And as a profession, possibly we ought to think different. So my attempt to do what the government say they were going to do, which was promote public prevention, prevention is better than cure, I've made a dental app. The reason is it'll support young dentists especially, and you can promote yourselves and protect yourselves for free by downloading the app and customizing the app, and all the details are to follow as a presentation that I gave about 18 months ago. Some of the clips are slightly different, but if you enjoy this kind of thing, you have some feedback, it'd be great, and I can implement that from home. And for all of you, if I don't get the chance again, I hope you enjoy your dental career. There's nothing better than working in a job that you enjoy, and this is just to help you enjoy it. Okay, so this is how I presented it in relation to dentists or hygienists. The app itself is free, and you're able to customize it yourself, and in that way I'll always say it's soft marketing, but you can direct people towards whatever your interests are. If you actually send a patient an email afterwards, it can help against litigation. There will be some other marketing in there, and I'd forgotten about this, but it does help with you being self-employed, and that may especially be of interest for hygienists. You can register via where it says careforteeth.co.uk, and you can do it on your phone, but it's better if you use the computer, because you've got more space on your screen, and you can have photos ready and the text ready, and I find it a lot easier. So you download it. It doesn't look like this now. It's got a section for emergencies because I changed it when COVID arrived. And yeah, so if you register, which I'll show you in a moment, then I can authorize it of an evening. So I did make a video for it about a year and a half ago, and this is how I explained it for the public, so you may want to skip along if you've seen it before. So it's about a minute long, and this is for the public.
It's now even easier to take back control and responsibility for your health. Using this simple free dental app, you and your family will find it easier to keep your teeth for life and avoid more serious diseases. Follow the in-app video instructions, and by entering your personal risk factors, scores from your dentist, or those monitored by yourself, and improve your cleaning habits. Save pain and costly dental fees. Download the Teeth for Life app today and press Squeeze Me to begin achieving better oral health.
And I put a little bit about me when I did my talk, which is written there. You can always pause it, but I guess you'll want to skip. And this is how it appears on your mobile phone if you want to register there. So clearly you register and it'll come up, and it should be relatively straightforward. So in the registration section, There's a section where you write about yourself, and that should be self-explanatory. It's always nice to have something prepared, or just look at other people's within the app. I'm at BS9 1JB. The expertise, this is better now in that you can add YouTube videos. So just scan through YouTube and get the link, and you can add your own pictures or someone else's pictures if you've got permission. And this bit with the practices, then obviously you put your practice details. There are some details with regarding when you fill the practice in that are specific for the practice, and on your own bio you can put things that are specific for yourself. So again, I always think it's easier on a PC, but you can do it all on your phone. The idea of the app for the public is that it reinforces your oral hygiene instruction. So more recently I've changed all of these so they look like animations. Well, they are animations, and if you're not happy with them, then please let me know. And this is an individual effort, so I'm sure a lot of it is not ideal, but it's always difficult to get a consensus for everybody. And certainly this section now, I think all the headings have changed on it. This says oral cancer and carers. So as you know, we don't really help people who are unable to get the dentist, and certainly care homes don't get any education, so it's all there. So this has changed slightly now. As I say, the app is for the public. In an ideal world, members of the public can share. They don't share their details, they just share the link via Facebook, Twitter, which I think no one will use. I'll change that. And WhatsApp, I think nearly everybody uses. So that's a way of changing it. And actually, if you press squeeze me, the idea is that a user would press squeeze me, and it gives them instructions on how to use the app. So as I said before, you can customize it yourself via the careforteeth.co.uk website. And so when you put in your practice details, remember to add your postcode. So this is where I used to work, and it brings up the practices. I think that's probably about 10 mile, because that's 10 mile away. And clearly the more specific you are, the better. So put your email in, or rather, sorry, your postcode in, and the patient will find you there. So the next bit is again about your bio. The idea behind this is that, I think I've said empathy. It just, if you forward the details to your patient, then it looks like you are basically interested, gives you a little bit about yourself, and we can't, you don't want your life story, but it's always nice to put a little bit in there. The section here, I mean, now it's, I think currently you can have as many of these as you want. So I've just put one in, clearly about root fillings. There are things that I quite like doing, and I've put them all in. And I think they're still on mine, which on my profile, but you can have a look at them and choose your own. So one of the things I was always keen on in the last 10 years was CAD/CAM stuff, and I think these are great. But most of my patients just want a crown. They don't want to be fooling the hygienist as what the Klim from America always does. He always says his inlays and onlays and crowns are so good that he fools the hygienist. I think that's a step too far, but you may be different. But anyway, if you're that great and you want to promote it, this is the section to do it. And now, as I said, under here now, there's a section for videos. So moving on, this, as I said before, this is your practice details. There is a slight issue in that whoever puts the practice down first, the times are available. I put the practice opening times, not your individual opening times. And in the future, then I would be able to change that, obviously if there's enough interest. So yeah, have an emergency phone number, your practice number. It hasn't got online booking, but if you did have online booking, then you just add it here. So there's a section here that I would change if the practice has online booking, and that's relatively easy to do. So This has changed now. If you go into the treatment options, that will say dental emergencies. And again, I did this in a little bit of a hurry, as I always do, when we were in lockdown. I personally was stuck in India, so that was fun. But that now says dental emergency, and all these can actually be found. The videos that I made can be found on YouTube, so I've left them there. I doubt very much if you'll use them, but I will change these to animations because I think there is probably an interest in having videos made on just basic dental treatments. The hygiene therapy hasn't changed. It's other than they're all animations, so the content was about the same. Yeah, and throughout it all, I've always found dental plans have worked well for me, especially as I've been pretty lousy at charging. So that's always a thing. So the videos are there, and yeah, I've changed these to animations if you have a look. This bit I'm not quite so sure of now because, you know, it's difficult with COVID, but the idea was if you give the patient a card, so the card is on one side, this is replicated in the app, and then the other side of a card, of any business card, you can write what you want. So in the past we used to do business cards and refer a friend or give a voucher, but when you physically hand the card, you write the BPE in, and then as a hygienist or as a dentist you just mark where they're missing cleaning the teeth. But if you actually look on the video animation, you'll see how I mean. Oh, and that's it there. So clearly it's a little while since I looked at this, but that's a representation here, and these are all, as I would say, hot links, and they just refer, I think this was manual toothbrushing, electric toothbrushing, interdental brushing, pocket cleaning, and this one is on habit and how to improve your habits. And as you can see, it then brings you up to a scorecard. So the scorecard, it hasn't got it all on here, but clearly there's a section for risk factors, and they especially coming up with Oral Cancer Awareness Month, then when they fill in this, it's pretty accurate for tooth loss when you include the BP and the BWE, but it's pretty accurate for oral cancer, and the idea was that it would make people more aware of their oral cancer risk. So going back to on the registration site, it doesn't appear that anyone looks at the registration site other than to register, but if you go into the page itself, there's all these different sections showing you how you can do your marketing. So I think these are all links to Dropbox, and so it'll tell you how I would advise you tell people about the app. So when you send them an email saying, you know, have you downloaded the app? This isn't quite so good now because no one's allowed in the waiting room, but there'll be videos explaining how to use the app. And then when you're in the surgery, at the moment, I'm well aware that when you ask the patient to stick out the tongue, about only 20% of them know why you're doing it. So just say, well, do you know why you're sticking your tongue out? And when they say it's oral cancer and they'll go a bit pale, just say, well, the details are on the app for you to look at, and it's a good idea to set a reminder once a month. And this follow-up marketing and protection is basically, whilst I say give them a business card, if you email them, then the software will actually retain the details that you sent to the patient. So if you've sent them details of their BPE and 5 years down the line they haven't improved, and there's an argument there saying, well, I've given you all the details, and the app, it explains what the BPE is, and you've told them how they should improve, and it's all also there within the app, then it might help with some protection. Oh, and this is the follow-up email. So that's what I was saying. I've changed this a bit. Well, I've changed it a lot now, especially as I've moved, or rather retired. But on here, I think I put an email, or rather a YouTube link to the video I made on health and your oral health, directly linked to your general health. And then I've also put a section lower down on oral cancer, so there's an animation for oral cancer. Within the app there's a really good animation of someone, I can't remember the Oral Cancer Foundation, I think it is. Originally I had one of myself, that
it's far better, the Oral Cancer Foundation one. So this is how I've been using my links in the past. Is that initially what I did was I started sending out emails to my patients, and if they were interested in tooth whitening, there was a video that I'd send them, and then I put a little pop-up note for myself to remind myself in 6 months' time, were they still interested. And that was how I started doing it. I sent an email to a patient on pocket cleaning, and got a really good result for someone who was 75 on their iPhone, and bizarrely did what I said, and we got a great result. And that was one of the reasons behind doing all this. And it would have been useful for me to have when I qualified many years ago, when we didn't have mobile phones or even computers. So all the contact details are there. Like I say, I will change these. I did a spoof, yeah, and it's still there. If you type in ho ho ho, or as it's written there, then you'll see Santa's Christmas message, which is a lot of silly videos. I think there's one with me with hair on. So, but yeah, so have a little play around with it. As I said before, these are all the resources here. Personally, it's not ideal, but there's a lot of things in there, and the resources, what I've used. There's a couple of YouTube links there, or rather, I think there's a YouTube one, but the TED Talk ones, I really like TED Talks, and they're of interest. I wrote that about 18 months ago, but it doesn't change that much, teeth are teeth. But this is why I did it. I've had web pages in the past, and I've made a couple of web pages. I didn't make this one, but the idea behind the app is it can get you new patients. So if someone has the app but hasn't got a dentist and types in the postcode, then you would come up. Protection, that's basically where by you sending an email and then having a record of annual recording of their BPE and sending it to them, then I think that's pretty reasonable kind of record that you have given the patient the information that you should have done. Yeah, and I think because you have your own web page and you have your own interests, or should we say, or specialities, then that might well help for dentists and hygienists for your self-employment status. Well, clearly that's oral cancer, so the idea behind it is that even people you don't see may get the app and check the tongue and go and see a dentist sooner rather than later. And yes, you can't buy empathy, but it's something different to give the patient. And the interesting part is, if patients, as you know, are well aware, in the surgery environment, they don't really listen to what you say, but everyone has their phone. So if you show them something on your phone and get them to download it, then, and they certainly see you on it, it looks like you've made a lot of effort, and they'll be keen, hopefully. And then the sales, there are just a section which is, as I would say, soft marketing. I think there are a couple of other things I wrote down back then, so have a little look. Yes, at that time when I made the slides, it was all about every few years it comes up, are you employed or self-employed? Yeah, this bit here, I think if you work for a corporate, they might be quite keen for you to be self-employed, because the liability lies with you. But I might be wrong on that front, but that's certainly worth considering. And that was basically my talk. So I said, if any questions, I would go through the questions. And if you are interested in this, or have any difficulties or whatever, then you can contact me here. And I am thinking of doing a Zoom meeting. You must all be zoomed out. I think one of the problems with the Zoom meeting is it's almost like this, really, is that you just watch the video and you can tap on the side but it's only going to be me here, so it might well be worth meeting up. And there is a place in Bristol that I went to today that is well set up for that kind of thing. So if you are keen to come and have a half day or a day where we can go through how to use the app, but more importantly where you can give me some good feedback on what you think is good and not so good, and how it's relevant for you, how it's relevant for your patient, then that would be great. So anyway, I hope you like this. It's my first attempt, and it's not going to be very polished, but I can probably do better in a more professional manner in the future. But anyway, hope you have a good weekend.